For Royal Family Daily, the story is never just about the headlines. It's about what happens in the corridors of power when the cameras are off. And right now, behind the gilded gates of Royal Lodge and the fortified walls of Buckingham Palace, a long-buried crisis has just exploded back to the surface. A survivor has stood up. New evidence has landed. And for Prince Andrew, the out-of-court settlement, the stripped titles, the silent retreat, none of it matters anymore. Because this isn't about legal technicalities now. This is about a direct public challenge for justice that just reignited everything. The demand came from Marina Lacerda. Abused by Jeffrey Epstein as a teenager, she's not a new voice. But her target is. She's not just speaking out. She's calling on US and UK authorities to finally, formally, question Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Think about that shift. For years, this was about one woman's civil case, Virginia Giuffre. That case was settled. It was meant to be over. But with Giuffre's tragic death last April, something changed. The voice of the primary accuser was silenced. And in that silence, other survivors looked at Andrew's continued life of aristocratic quiet and said, no. Lacerda's message is blunt. Justice has been delayed for far too long. And she's backed by Giuffre's own lawyer, Brad Edwards, who says anyone who ever believed Andrew's denials should feel a deep shame. This is the kind of moral reckoning we track closely here at Royal Family Daily. It's no longer a legal battle, it's a battle for the narrative. And the palace is losing. So what changed? What gave this demand its teeth? The latest release of Epstein files. And we're not talking about rehashing old allegations. This is new, cold, documented communication. We now have what appear to be emails from Andrew himself to Ghislaine Maxwell. In them, an individual identified only as A, who references royal homes, family details, leaving the Royal Navy, asks Maxwell if she's found new inappropriate friends. Let that term sink in. Inappropriate friends. Then there's the Peru request. Around the time of an official overseas tour, Maxwell is emailing, seeking friendly, discreet, and fun young women for a man named Andrew. This isn't a victim's memory anymore. This is a contemporary paper trail that investigators have wanted to see for decades. It directly contradicts the image of a naive royal who simply misjudged a friendship. It paints a picture of active seeking. And that picture is why survivors are saying the time for polite silence is over. Inside the palace system, this isn't being treated as a PR headache. Insiders describe it as a full-scale containment failure. The king's strategy for Andrew was clear. Reduce, remove, retreat, strip the titles, fund the settlement quietly, and let him fade into obscurity at Royal Lodge. Out of sight, out of mind. But these documents have made that impossible. Andrew is back in the global spotlight, and the Shadow King strategy is crumbling. Senior aides are reportedly in a state of permanent crisis management. The tension isn't just about Andrew anymore, it's about the splatter effect on a monarchy Charles has worked hard to streamline and modernise. Every headline about inappropriate friends undermines that work. The institution is now trapped between the impossible task of defending an individual and the urgent need to protect itself. And that internal conflict is where the real damage is done. This conflict isn't abstract. It's playing out in very real, tense negotiations over money and bricks and mortar. Remember, Andrew's mammoth settlement was largely bankrolled by the late Queen's private wealth. But the ongoing costs? They're a bleeding wound. We're talking about an estimated £3 million per year for his security detail alone. Then, there's the maintenance of the 30-room Royal Lodge. And here's the quiet feud. King Charles, enforcing a slimmed-down monarchy with fiscal discipline, has made it clear he wants Andrew to downsize. The preferred option? Move to the much smaller Frogmore cottage. Andrew is reportedly digging in. Royal Lodge is his last bastion of status, his last symbol of being a senior royal. Letting it go would be the ultimate retreat. So the scandal now has a tangible financial heartbeat. Every new document release strengthens Charles's hand in that argument. Why should the institution pay to protect a man who brings it nothing but reputational ruin? Amidst all this palace calculus, there's a human element that changes everything: the ghost of Virginia Giuffre. Her death by suicide in April wasn't just a tragedy. It was a seismic shift in the story. With her passing, the living, breathing person at the centre of this could no longer be questioned, attacked, or doubted. But then her memoir, Nobody's Girl, was published. In it, she wrote of being instructed by Maxwell to treat Andrew the same way she treated Epstein. She described him as entitled. She said she was paid. Her account is now permanent, unchangeable. It can't be cross-examined in a court, but it can be read by millions. It gives a raw, emotional anchor to the cold emails in the Epstein files. The survivor's voice, once silenced, has been amplified in the worst way possible. And it's her lasting testimony that fuels Marina Lacerda's demand today. So, where does this leave us? What are the actual consequences? Legally, the path is murky. The US has little clear authority to compel a British royal to testify, especially now. The UK authorities have shown zero appetite to open any investigation. But the real court has already convened. The court of public opinion. And with these documents, the public now holds what looks like evidence. The question for the monarchy is brutal. Can they ever truly move forward while Prince Andrew remains a visible, contentious figure living in royal property? Every garden party at Royal Lodge, every photographed ride is now framed by the phrase inappropriate friends. The brand is poisoned. The palace hoped time would be the healer. But these files prove that, in the digital age, the past is never really archived. It's just waiting to be unsealed. The scandal always came back to transactions. What was given, what was received. And perhaps no single detail captures that, like the Peru request email, a cold logistical ask for discreet and fun young women for a man named Andrew, timed to an official tour. For years, it was a claim. Now, it's a document, a line in a federal file. Marina Lacerda and others are asking one simple, devastating question. If this was in the files, why was it never properly investigated? Prince Andrew settled with Virginia Giuffre, but he can never settle with the record. And as long as that record exists, the demand for accountability will keep coming back. The palace wants to turn the page, but survivors, armed with new evidence, are holding the book open. Let us know your verdict in the comments below. Can the monarchy ever move on from this? And for the stories they don't want told, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Family Daily.